Joining us tonight is her father, Rick Salinas. He has lived this nightmare. We all, Mr. Salinas, don't know how we would react if suddenly one of our family members is just gone. What was the last conversation you had with your daughter? What was her state of mind? What was her demeanor like?
Well, I saw her on that Thursday before that weekend that she went out missing. She was just in a good mood. I had given her and my son money to go do a little bit of shopping. I had came from a meeting, my local union. I came home. They took off for an hour or two. They come back and she told me that she was going to go back home. That was Thursday. I'm headed home. Gave her a nice long hug, and I said bye. And that's the last time I had talked to her since she came up missing.
And we know your daughter was very frail, 5'6", a little over 100 pounds, and she'd been very ill this year with valley fever, which you can get in Arizona. I learned about that when I was in Phoenix this year, and she was actually in the hospital in February.
Yeah, she endured two invasive surgeries in February. In fact, it was a couple of days after Valentine's Day. She had a major surgery where they had to open her chest and removing part of her lung and remove the infection. And she was in intensive care for 3 days and spent over a month in the hospital in bedridden with a drain tube coming out of her chest. And I spent many nights there with her by her side. And she was very strong and brave, and she endured all that. And she was, you know, becoming healthy again. She was probably 90% well when all this had taken place. She'd been given the okay to go back to work. That's just what makes this whole thing harder, because she fought through that. She was down to 95 pounds in the hospital, and she had started to gain weight. I could see in her face that, you know, her face was feeling a little fuller, and she was starting to put weight on again. And she had started hiking and riding her bicycle again, and then, you know, then this takes place.
Well,
it's just a horrible nightmare.
It has to be the worst nightmare. And Mr. Salinas, we want to do everything we can to help find your daughter. And one of that is to review the facts and look at the facts. I want to go back out to Jill Ryan, who is a news anchor right there in Phoenix, Arizona, News Talk 92.3 KTAR. Jill, just give us an overview of the facts, because she has a longtime boyfriend who we understand has taken polygraphs and has passed them.
That's right. Francisco Ortega is his name, and the two have dated on and off for a very long time. Again, it didn't raise any red flags when there was a little bit of a rift and a tiff that evening. There was drinking involved, and Adrienne was a little upset she wasn't getting the attention she felt like she wanted. At least that's what she told her friends. So as far as the facts of the case, it's a case that we have just as many facts as we do holes. And we're still trying, investigators are still trying to piece together exactly what happened after that car crash. They really don't know. They're depending on witness testimony. They're depending on these cell phone records, which are really going to help them figure out the timeline of this. They're also looking at surveillance videos, examining those closely. Nothing of any particular interest has popped up with those, but again, you know, they've interviewed several hundred people at this time, and they are stopping short of saying that they've got a person of interest, but they do have some people that they're looking at, definitely.
Sergeant Michael Pooley is joining us from the Tempe Police Department. Do you have a person of interest or even a suspect in this case?
Well, we don't have a suspect. Obviously, nothing's off the table. At this point, everybody and everything is on the table, and what we're doing is we have to dissect all the different information that we have. We're trying to see who was around Adrienne, who knew what, who knew where she was going, and that's a big challenge right now. There were, like Jill said, there were about 40 to 50 people at this party. Any one of those people may have more information. There were other people out and about that time of day and that early morning that may have more information. And this is the difficult part about this investigation, is there's so limited information, such limited information, and this limited information has really tied our hands on saying who is a suspect and who is not.